Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. So you will have probably by now seen my extra video that I put out this week showing an unboxing of my first order from Moulds and Shapes. I am so excited to try this mould. I'm using the round one first. I will do something with the square coaster mould. The quality of this is just next level, like the shine on this, absolutely beautiful. So I'm really excited to try it. So for my first video, I'm going to do some more blooms. You may or may not have seen my blooms that I've done previously. My previous coaster mould is smaller than this one, so I'm going to talk about how I worked out the area. One of the problems I had when I last did the blooms was blobbing with my white, but I kidded myself that I could mix the white in this beaker and carefully pour it, but this time I'm just going to use a piping bag. Everyone told me to use a piping bag, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't like single-use plastic. I'll see how I get on with the piping bag, and hopefully I can keep the hole really, really small for that. Okay, so if you don't know how we make blooms, I'm still fairly new to this myself, only having done it twice before, but I'm going to have another go today. So you have to let your resin go exothermic. So the resin I'm using is the Apex High Gloss finish. Absolutely awesome resin. I've had it in a warm place because it's quite cold today in the UK. So mix that up, take some out and add some white pigment. And for that I'm using the Vista pigment, which has got a load of titanium white pigment in it. When the resin has gone exothermic, you pour it into the mould, and at that point you then add colour pigments, and you can just put it in blobs. So I have decided that I'm going to make these single colour in terms of the petals, but the centre of each of them is going to be this sort of deep yellow. So I am going for malachite. I'm going to go with aquamarine, rose quartz and purple agate. So those are the four main colours. So I'm going to blob that around, let that pigment spread quite far. And once it's had time to sit, I'm then going to snip the end off my piping bag with the white in it and do a spiral around there. Very, very thin layer of spiral. And then you go in with a dotting tool and just drag that in to form the petals. And the chemical reaction that goes on as the resin starts to pull inwards, it pulls the stripes of white with it, and it mixes with the pigment to give you like gradients. And each layer round of white that you have, the more petals you have, basically. So if you do like just one big spiral, you'll only have kind of one row of big petals. It will make more sense when I'm doing it. But you can see with this one, what happens is this absolute magic reaction that causes this amazing 3D effect. Now, I didn't do a very good job of backing these. There's not quite enough resin pigment in it, so they're not the best, but I do need to kind of sand that down and sort it out anyway. What I want to do is fill these up about 3/4 full so that I can back them in the mould with black afterwards, and that will really make those different colours pop. Now in theory, by putting the white in a piping bag and letting the resin sit for longer, I shouldn't have the issues that I had with blobbing. I will have more control over it than I did trying to pour it out of the beaker once the resin's got quite gloopy. So the way to figure out the volume of a mould, they say this is bigger than my previous coasters. One way of doing it is just to weigh something that you've made in a mould before, and it'll give you a weight in grams. Just assume that is almost 1 ml per gram of resin, and then you're kind of in the right ballpark. But what I've done with this one is actually measure it and used some maths to calculate it. You can, of course, just pour rice into one of these and measure the volume of rice, but honestly, the cleanup doing that I find harder. So the way that you work out the volume of a circular coaster like this is to first of all measure the distance across. Now these are 10 centimetres across. The radius of that circle is 5 centimetres, and so you first of all work out what the area of that circle is. So to do that, you just do pi r squared, pi 3.14 multiplied by the radius squared. So that is 5 centimetres squared, which is 25. So 3.14 multiplied by 25 gives you 78.5 centimetres thereabouts. Now the depth of these is only 1/2 centimetre, so you then multiply that by 0.5, which is the same as halving it, and that gives me 39. So I will say that these are 40 mils per coaster of resin to fill it up. I don't want to fill it up, I want it about 3/4 full. So I'm assuming 30 mils of resin per coaster, which gives me a total of about 120 mils. I'm going to mix up my resin off camera. I will be wearing my respirator and my gloves, and I've got my Apex Angels apron on that I got free with an order of my resin last time. So once I've got my thermometer in there and it starts to get above 32, 33 degrees Celsius, then I know the resin has started to go exothermic. I will then get it into the mould, split it evenly there, then dot the pigments on. So although it sounds dead easy to do this, to perfect this technique takes years of practice, and resin does what resin wants to do, so you can never be sure of the results. They look really, really cool. They're very effective, very three-dimensional, and I can't wait to try making them in a better quality mold, which is the whole point of this video. So yet again, my introduction is way too long. I will trim it out in editing. So I'm going to mix my resin and I'll be back to start pouring. Hey guys, it's been 24 hours since I poured the black background on these. So I topped up the little heart in the centre with clear because I was just kind of, oh, just get rid of my hair. I was messing around with some pigments in that one just with the leftover resin. So I did a clear top on that because I wasn't sure whether any of it would show through on the back. So just a little side project from that used up space. So cool. So I think my white blobbed a little bit more than I was hoping, so I'm not entirely sure what these are going to come out like, but oh god, this mould is covered in cat hair. Let's pop these out and then we can turn them over and see how they've turned out. So I've just put hand cream on because my hands look like I'm 110 years old and I'm leaving hand cream prints on the back of these. I suspect these are going to be so shiny compared to previous coasters that I've made. Okay, I'm excited to see how these have turned out. Oh, that's a beauty. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. Gosh, the others are never going to be as good as that one. I had problems with my pigments not spreading again, so I'm not... Oh, actually though, that one's all right as well. Wow. The surface is pristine. That is combination of the Apex resin and this really good mould. That is next level brilliant. Oh, another winner. Wow. Look at that shine. That is beautiful. Are we going to get 4 out of 4? Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, how did all 4 come out so brilliantly? Oh my god. They are incredible. Wowzers. I can't believe this. They're just beautiful. Looking at the backs of them, I was really worried about how these had turned out, but I really needn't have worried. Do need to just get my deburring tool and just gently run around the edge, just get rid of those little sharp nicks that you often get. These are beautiful. I can't believe how gorgeous they are. Barely any pressure. I don't want to kind of run down that nice sharp edge. I just want to get the really sharp bit off. So I'm just using my deburring tool. Barely any pressure, just to get the sharp nicks out. The Apex resin is so good. It really is just so clear, so beautiful. And this mould, I can't believe how shiny and immaculate the surface of these coasters are. It's just amazing. I can't believe this. I'm going to bring you down for a close-up. Okay, there's the pink one. There's the blue one. The detail in these is just stunning. Green and purple. Which is your favourite? For me, I'm not really a pink girl, but I do think that pink one's beautiful. But this blue, the blue and the lilac, they're kind of winning my heart. But that green is just so forest chick. Oh my goodness, I just can't believe these. These are the best blooms I've made to date. I'm so happy. They're chunky compared to these other ones that I've made. You can see the difference in size. So happy with those. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Cannot recommend the Apex resin and the Moulds and Shapes moulds enough. Bought with my own money, not sponsored in any way, no affiliations whatsoever, just brilliant products, great results. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm so happy, as you can tell, that these worked out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.